Hi guys, today we'll be talking about a general view of how to get a PR if you're applying from offshore. So a lot of you guys must be knowing this if you're currently onshore and looking for PR options, but people who want to apply from offshore, let's say from India or from Bangladesh or from any other country. So this is just a brief idea on how to calculate your points and to check if you're eligible for skill assessment and to apply for PR. So how to migrate to Australia? There's three different ways through which you can apply for permanent residency or pathways to permanent residency if you don't have an employer to sponsor you. There's subclass 189, subclass 190, and subclass 489. Subclass 189 is skilled independent visa and gives you 0 points. Subclass 190 gives you 5 points and 489 gives you 10 points. I'll come to these points later on in the video. Subclass 189 has all the occupations from MLTSSL, which is the medium and long-term strategic skills list, whereas subclass 190 and 489 has all the occupations from MLTSSL and STSOL, which is the short-term skill occupation list. So these are the four general procedures which you need to follow in case you are applying for PR through general skill migration. The first step is skill assessment. So any person who's applying from offshore needs to get his or her skills assessed, needs to get qualification, experience, and IELTS score assessed. So the basic documents which are required for skill assessment would be at least 0 to 3 years of experience depending on the occupation. So let's say engineers who want to migrate to Australia don't require any experience. So 0 years of experience post qualification will still make you eligible to apply for PR or pathways to PR. But in cases such as trades occupations such as chef and carpenter and bricklayer, they would require 3 years of post qualification experience. Depending on which occupation you are currently working or you want to nominate, you would require certificate or diploma level to bachelor's level of qualification. Certificate is usually for trades occupations such as chef, as I mentioned earlier, and bachelor's is for management professionals such as accountant, marketing specialist, etc. IELTS score is 6 in each minimum for any PR file you want to do through general skill migration, 189, 190, and 489. The basic requirement is 6 in each, but depending on the occupation, the IELTS score requirement would change. For example, for IELTS, in terms of nurses, you would require 7 in each. And if you want to claim higher points, you would require 7 or 8 in each in IELTS. Or I'll explain that in this section later on. And the work duties you do, work duties also play a very important role. For example, if you're a restaurant manager or a hotel manager, the work reference letter provided to you by the employer and the duties matter a lot, because what Australian government thinks of a restaurant manager, duties can be different from what an applicant in India thinks of a restaurant manager. So depending on the occupation, the work duties will also change. And the work should be paid work, post-qualification paid work, depending on the occupation you're nominating. As I mentioned, 0 to 3 years. And the evidences you usually provide to show paid work is pay slips, bank statements, or any tax returns, etc. So the second step, after you have done skill assessment, which I've explained over here, the second step is expression of interest. You send an expression of interest that you would like to apply for PR to the Australian government or the different states, and they reply you back if you meet the eligibility by an invitation. Then after this is done, you apply for state nomination. State nomination can only be done for subclass 190 and 489 because the state sponsors you and nominates you for a PR or pathway to PR option, whereas subclass 189, as I mentioned, is skilled independent. So after you have done skill assessment and EOI, expression of interest, you directly apply for file lodgement in case of 189. But 190 and 489, you'll have to go through all these steps. The points requirement is the benchmark is 60 points inclusive of the nomination points given to you by the state. 190 will give you 5 points and 489 will give you 10 points. So this is the breakdown of if someone is applying from offshore, how to calculate his or her points. Age, if your age is between 18 to 25, it'll give you 25 points. If your age is between 25 to 32, it'll give you 30 points. If your age is between 32 to 39, 25 points. And if your age is between 39 to 44, you'll get 15 points. The maximum age limit for GSM visa, which is the General Skill Migration Visa, is 45. Qualification, depending on what occupation you're nominating, you will have for certificate and diploma level courses, you will get 10 points. But for bachelor's and master's, you will get 15 points. And master's in research or PhD will give you additional points. Experience, if you have post-qualification experience up to 3 years, it will give you 5 points. 3 to 5 years will give you 10 points. And if you have more than 5 years of post-qualification experience in your home country, it will give you 15 points. IELTS requirement. So if you have 6 in each, which is a basic requirement for applying for any PR visa in Australia, you would not get any points, unfortunately. But if you manage to get 7 in each in IELTS or equivalent, or 8 in each in IELTS or equivalent, you'll get 10 to 20 points respectively. For state nomination, as I mentioned earlier, if you are eligible for state nomination, it can give you 5 points in terms of 190 or 10 points in terms of 489. You can also do a skill assessment for your partner in the same process. And if your partner is can manage to get 6 in each in IELTS and a positive skill assessment, depending on the occupation he or she nominates, can provide you with the main applicant with 5 points. And in total, if you have 60 points, you can apply for subclass 189, 190 or 489, depending on if your occupation is in the MLT-SSL or in the STSOL. So this is a brief breakdown of if you're planning to apply for PR in Australia from offshore. If you have any questions regarding migration to Australia from offshore or even onshore, please feel free to contact us on the information provided to you on the screen. Thank you.